Hi, Julie Torrens here. So we're working in the Junkie Junk Journal, and I'm going to get started with some black paint, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Got a brush that I'm just going to dip in a little bit of water. Okay, here we go. So, Junkie Junk Journal, and what we're going to do is what I am calling reverse. Oh, here we go. There we go. Reverse silhouettes. Now I'm going to be using colors that are from the PM Artist Studio Color Challenge. So I'll show you those in a minute, but they are spring green, violet, and lemon yellow. Spring colors. Yay! And today is the 20th of May. People are already getting ready for Memorial Day, which is a bank holiday here in the U.S. But people are making nice long weekends of it. And good, as they should. We've got this little flip in the middle that we're going to be using. Now, I had put already some once used leftover paints on here. But this time, they're not really working. I'm covering them over. But I also didn't put gesso because even though you can see I'm adding paint, it is absorbing more than if I would have gessoed it, but it still is hanging in there. Now, will this cover all the way? I don't think so. I'm not so much worried that the black is going to get on the black. I just don't want them to glue themselves together. Okay, and this has some pretty gold. Now, when we're doing the color challenge, we're allowed to add black, white, and one metallic. This already had some gold metallic. I'm obviously covering it up, but and if this, it still may stick a little bit. The wax paper, it's not perfect, but it'll be fine. So I'm dodging rain clouds. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch out, but it's like, I don't know, between 4:30 and maybe 5 o'clock in the evening. As I say, I've been kind of dodging these storms all day. In Grand Rapids, unlike when I lived in Detroit, the storms, you might have a thunderstorm today, and there you have it. But here, we already had one, but it wasn't severe. As a matter of fact, it was more like a thunder rain than a thunderstorm. There was nothing stormy about it. We just had rain. Well, this is not covering, and I don't want to glue my pages together. That's always my thing. It's not so much that I worry about some color from this will get on that. I just don't want to glue the pages together. And acrylic paint will glue things together once it's dry. Ooh. Ooh, it will. Okay, just about there. Good. Okay. Now, a little bit in here. I'm going to set this aside. I don't have anywhere to put this black. It's going in the water. And as I say, I'm going to set this aside. And we'll get started on the next part. Okay. So, don't really need this yet. I picked out some pictures. And I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. I did not or am not putting you through that process of keep track of what you're doing. I'm not going to put you through the process of going through that magazine harvesting. So the first one is going to be, I don't know if you can hardly see him, it's a dog. So I'm just going to hold this up to the light and I'm circling big around the dog. See? Okay, that piece is ready. I'm going to do the same with this. Now I've got multiple people that I want, that I could use for the silhouette, but I want her. Because I have to not worry, but I have to think about the size of what I'm using to put the collage bits on. And so, and I'm not even going to circle her. I'm just going to leave it like that. I look for interesting shapes, people that are doing an action, like see, she's walking. And so I think that'll make it interesting for a silhouette. Okay. Good. And I may not even have room to use all of them, but I think there was one on each side, but yeah, this is the one I want. Okay, couple more. I have probably more than I need. My garbage. Oh, you try to have everything ready. Did I make my garbage ready? I guess I didn't. So I like her. And I really have more than I'm sure I'm going to need. Her. And then I've got this purse. Whoops, down in the Bermuda Triangle. Look at that crocheted skirt. Wow. And I've got this hat. I call that a bucket hat. You let me know in the comments what you call it. Okay, now I'm going to bring this back up. We know we've got two this size, two this size. So I want the bucket hat, yes, and have the purse. Where'd the purse go? We'll find it, but that'll be fine. Okay, I've got her. This can go on the second page. Her. I think we may have room for them all. So I'm going to take it that we do. Never did find the purse. Oh, it went on the floor. Dummy. All right. Hang on. Okay. There's the purse. And that's going to go there. Okay. Putting this back. So, there. Now, let's get started, for heaven's sakes. I'm going to start with the purse because it's on top. And I'm going I'm going to get that black brush out of the water. Still quite black. And the only thing that bothers me about that is I don't want the brush to dry all hard. So I'm just going to put that in here. Okay, set that aside. I am going to start with another brush. Couple brushes, that's fine. These are my acrylic brushes. I'm going to start this one with the violet. This is a very old, I know that's too much, that's okay. Very old violet paint from Jane Davenport. And it's curling. I totally expect that. It's not just curling, it's rolling. Whoa. Thought I had too much paint. This paint dries super fast and it dries super matte. All right. Now, the only problem with all this rolling is that, well, I'm going to get my hands purpley, is I don't want it to stick to itself. Okay. Can you just lay there, please? Yes. And I've got a pretty big blob of purple paint there. All right. Stay there. Okay. Still have purple paint. Grabbing the dog. Now, is it okay if the dog gets painty? I think it is, yeah. Okay. Start out with some of this same purple, well, violet. And let's give this a go. That's why I put that circle there, so that I wasn't way over painting. Now, if this one isn't covered quite as good as the other one, that's okay. They don't need to be. Let's set this aside. And let's get her. Stick with the purple. So yeah, we've had clouds roll in, clouds roll out. We had one thunder rain, and then just again, more clouds rolling in, more clouds rolling out. Now, when I went to start this video, it went from super dark, like crafting in the moonlight madness kind of thing, to now so sunny that I had to close the blinds. Setting this aside to dry. That didn't curl up too much. And her. Still sticking with the purple, but I think this time I'm going to add some white. Just to give it a little different. They'll all be different. And let's just mix these up a little bit. These are out of a Vogue magazine. I get the magazines from the Friends of the Library for $10. And they're pretty current. It amazes me because these were donated. I can just tell because of the address labels. The library doesn't tear them off. The people that donate them do. Or the library tears it off for them, something. All right. Set that over there to dry. And Here comes another one. And I think I'm gonna see what's all in this brush. I'm liking to start out with all the violets. I think that'll give it, again, a nice continuity. Adding a little titanium white. These paints, if you're thinking, you know, she's got this kind of a tube, the bargain bowl. All my bargain bowl paints. Went to the craft outlet with my girlfriend when I was on vacation, and I got about 20 different paints, all $1 or $2. So the bargain bowl may turn into a bargain box, I'm not sure. But I frankly have never seen that much acrylic paint there at once. I'm kind of running out of drying space, folks. Yes, I am. I'm reaching for another something to let it dry on. There we go. And let's get this one up. And, oh, good heavens, I have a hard time believing I'm going to have room for all these. But we're going to give it a go. When my girlfriend was here, Robin, we went to Lake Michigan, and it was a weekday, so we had practically the whole beach to ourselves. Really nice, really fun. That's nice. This one's little. I think I can just rest it up there. It's curling a little bit. Not too bad. Okay. Couple more, folks. I like her. I really like her. I'm sorry if this is boring, doing just purple, purple, purple. But sometimes that's the way the process is. And you just have to go with it. You do. Good. And last one. Hooray! The hat. Okay. Now, phase 2. Putting the brush in the water, which is nice and black. And second rinse. And give it one of these. Okay. Now, this is the dog. I'm going to start mark making. So I'm going to start out with the lime green or spring green. I forget. And we're going to make some marks. And I'm just grabbing a brush. And I'm making these big marks. Kind of like, like animal print. Most going this way, but every once in a while, one going another way. You always got to have a rogue. Okay, gonna let this dry. We'll do one more. Looking for kind of a dry one. And doesn't have to be the same, but it can be. I like projects like this. And it's an art journal. I'm doing art. It's gonna go in my Junky Junk journal. And when the Junky Junk journal is done, it's gonna be a journal of art, 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 art. Different techniques, different styles, different. So far it's all been pretty much acrylics. But it doesn't have to be. We'll just see. I didn't make any going this way, did I? Just a few. Don't forget the edges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these purple ones done, and then I'll be back. I have all these pieces all done with the purple and the green. So I've got a little sponge, I've got my lemon yellow, and I'm going to make some more marks with the yellow. And I'm just kind of trying to fill in the spaces. So here we go. And if the green is still a little wet, the purple seems dry to me. Okay, good. Well, this won't take as long at all. And here we go. This is just a cosmetic sponge, and I didn't blow away. So far, no kind of storm. So I think we're good for right now. A little more yellow. I like this color combination. It does look spring-like, doesn't it? And this is now all three of the colors. The violet, the lemon yellow, and the spring green. Okay, I'm gonna stomp these off and then I'll be back. Now that all of these have the yellow, so they're all the same, all the little pieces are the same as far as the painting, I'm going to use my Martha Stewart metallic, and this is called Yellow Gold. And it's pretty transparent, but I think it'll be okay. I'm just putting it, I've got one of these here drying. I'm just going to put some on my paper plate, which is my typical acrylic palette. And I've got this is the same brush that I had used to make the green marks. I'm going to wet it and just dab dry. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make, like, I'm holding the brush way at the back. I'm just going to make some lines, kind of like cracks or like veins. And I'm just kind of rolling the brush and dragging it across. And I'm just going to have them all in the same direction. Okay, there's one. Let's do another one. And again, the paint it's only dry long enough that I took and rinsed out the black brush and the brush we used for the purple. I'm thinking like veins, you know, like veins in a rock kind of a look. Yeah, we'll do one more. Now I am going to hit the pause again. And I'm going to finish it up just like you're seeing me on all the rest of them. And then I'm going to let this more dry. I still don't care if it's bone dry, but I'm going to want it so that we can do the next step, which is cutting out our shapes. Does that make sense? I think it will. And I'm trying through all this process, I'm trying not to get any of the paint way too thick, because that'll just take a week to dry. And ain't nobody got time for that. All right, I will continue on and I'll be back. And things are dry. So once these have dried, and it took about, maybe an hour or less. I was watching this is the bucket hat. I was watching the Gail Agostinelli video. So I didn't quite make it through. And hers are an hour. So once you have the one side decorated, then you cut out your shapes. And see, they're not obliterated. So that's what makes it so cool, is when you're cutting out your silhouettes, it's not hard to see. And I'll tell you, when you take a piece of magazine page and you go ahead and put acrylic paint on it, the cutting out is so much easier. I don't know what that is, but here is our bucket hat. So this also is dry, but I wanted to show you a little trick, and I'm just going to pull out all of our papers so that they wouldn't glue my book together. Oh, can you hear that? I told you I've been dodging storms. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning, but I think it's already passed. Can you see here where I didn't quite get the acrylic really wedged in there? I am just taking a black Sharpie because I don't want to have dry time again and all that. And I am just going in this little spot and calling it a day. I'll tell you another secret. If you ever get like a dot of white paint on a black shirt or something, you can clean it up in a hurry. There. Okay. See? 1, 2, 3, done. So while you were waiting, whoop, wrong way. See? I was also fussy cutting the rest of them so that you weren't going to sit through fussy cutting. So let's see what we've got. Now, what I was thinking for the flip-flop was the purse on one side and the hat on the other side. But let's see how the rest of them kind of want to go, and we may kind of want to, we may need it in another spot. So let's just see. So we had this lady who was leaning up against the table. So I've got her, and I'm just setting these for right now. I've got her. Now she is up close and she's leaning on a table, see? So I want to put her further down. This is kind of a middle size or even small. Again, we're just going to have to play with the pieces. Now here, let me put these maybe where you can see them a little bit. We've got this walking girl. And she can kind of be walking right off the page. Now the dog. I cut out the dog, but can you see? I have no idea what it is, but it's not right. So off that goes, and that happens, but that's okay. Now this is another one that's smaller. she can go up here. And then this one more close up to us. This page looks awfully crowded. This page looks awful empty, but I fear it could be the same either way. But let's just try moving this lady here. That may be better. That very well may be better. And this one can go up there. And then these two here. Now, because this one had so many details, see, this isn't supposed to be like that, but I cut through it so I could get some detail here. But when we glue it down, you won't even see that. But if that just seems a little strange, when we glue it down, it'll be fine. I like this placement. All right, well, I'm going to just start gluing them down right where they are. Now, this acrylic paint from the Bargain Bowl, not really a high quality, but it's fine. But it does dry kind of shiny. So I am not going to use glue stick. This is no shade on any glue stick. I just think using glue stick on shiny acrylic is not fair to the glue. So let's get this. Make sure you can see. Well, let's see what's happening here. Art glitter glue is a fickle friend, I'll tell you. All right. See, I picked people to be my silhouettes that were having an action or kind of a specific pose. See, like the dog just came kind of like a lump. There wasn't enough definition between legs and head and all of that. And, you know, that happens. She had little stilettos, and I turned them into platforms because I just thought trying to cut out those stilettos was going to be quite the task. Now, this is just for my art journal, so I am not worried or as worried as I am when I'm making a journal that will probably go into someone else's hands. I really don't want bits and pieces to fly off. But now, are you getting the idea of why I call this reverse silhouettes? Because normally the silhouettes are black and you've got a busy background. This time we've got a black background and busy silhouettes. I never did it before, but I just thought it would be so fun. However, because I haven't done it before, that's one of the reasons why I pick art journaling to try it for the first time. Put those two together. There. I like it. Okay, over here, let's put the purse. Yep. And I realize, oh, and look, I just want to show you. See how this was like two real skinny handles? Oh, no. I turned it into one handle. And could I have just invented a purse like this? You know what I mean? I like just kind of make one. Maybe, but I'll tell you, when you're using magazine pictures, all the proportions are nice and right. And that makes it so much easier. But another thing you can use is rubber stamps. I don't have that kind of a collection of rubber stamps, but I know a lot of people do. I mean, people have literally hundreds, maybe thousands of them. And I'm not trying to be glib. Truly, lots of stamps. and they would make fabulous silhouettes. Goodness, you might even have some that you have the die cut that goes with, but you know, you don't need the detail. You just need the silhouette. So, but I don't have a die cutting machine or anything like that, but just something to think about. That would be a different way that you can create silhouettes, and you're not trying to come up with all of the perspective and proportions that you would if you were just drawing and doing it on your own. Okay, let's get this standing up lady. Her face had like 0 features to cut out. So I just kind of invented a little bit of a nose and a kind of a place where her eyes, you know, your head kind of makes a dent where your eyes are and stuff like that. Just to try to, again, get some detail so that it makes sense. But I think that looks like a woman that's standing there kind of with her head tilted up. All right, let's get her on. Now she had, her arms were just like tight up against her dress. So there wasn't any detail. So can you see like her dress has sort of this stripe? I just cut one whole length of stripe off of each side. And that way her arms are separated from her, and I could add some detail that way. So you could distinguish her arms from her dress. You just kind of have to cut and then kind of look. You can always cut more, but well, at least I try to be careful not to cut too much away without paying attention, because no matter how much you cut it, it's not going to get bigger. It's going to get smaller. Now, if our lady friend who is leaning up against like a desk, this one, I was going to say if she overlaps this one, it's okay. But she's not going to. There she is. I like this art journal pages. I think they're fun. Now it completely quit raining, but it's even gotten darker. Right now it should be like super sunny, and it may look like I'm doing midnight moonlight madness crafting, but I'm not. But we got to keep going, right? Okay. Now, we've got, oh, see, a little bit of sticking. Can you believe it? After all this time, and it's stuck. There. Oh. There. No one will know. There she is so far. Now, I pulled out, I've got an extra. I pulled out all of these colors. See, purple, well, violet, my closest to violet, then white, and black, which we're not going to need black for sure. Then spring green, and the reason why there's 2 of each is one is kind of a medium tip and one is a fine tip. And I didn't know that's the lemon yellow. I just didn't know what color I was going to do because I want to outline them all. And I'm leaning towards yellow, but I don't know if it's opaque enough. So I'm going to try it. But if it won't like hide the black, how can I know? Let's see. Let's get one of these. This is one of those papers that, you know, was for the overrunning. And let's just see if the Posca, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. And this is the heavier of the two. And I think that's what I want. I want a nice bold outline. Let me see. Okay. It's not drippity, but it's bold. Going to work this way to this way because of my arm. And I may have to turn these things a bit. And I shook these and shook these and shook these. Yeah, these right here. Ooh, a little paint is peeling off. How unusual for acrylic. It's because it's a magazine. And I'm going to glue it back on. It's plastic. Yep. And then I can always go back through and touch it up if it bothers me. I don't think it will. This is not perfect. Don't try to make it perfect. You'll just drive yourself nuts. Just get an outline. Yep. I think the outline helps marry the silhouette to the page. Oh, I love it. It came out good. I like the way that this second image, now that it's outlined, is touching the first image. I like that a lot. This woman that I'm right now tracing out, she had the most bell-bottomy bell bottoms. So it kind of leaves it a little confusing around the feet. But that's the way the picture was. And I love her hat. Just another, some kind of distinction for the silhouette. All those little details help make it go. I am not going to do this one yet. And I'm going to go ahead and just lay this here and there. Now, moving along this same way. It's raining, but it's just a gentle rain now. Nice. Hope you can see me. I think you can. Good. One more. Every once in a great while, this pen is sputtering a little bit. And on the black with the yellow, it really shows, but I'm not worried. You know, I always say, if you want something that's just like manufactured perfect, you need to buy it. This is art done by hand, by humans that drink coffee and have shaky hands, or that don't have a number one vision or whatever. And we create beautiful art that's not machine made, and that's one of a kind. I bet you can look at this and think, yeah, child, that's one of a kind. And it is. Okay, now, I think that this side is dry enough that I'm going to go ahead and outline my hat. I just thought having accessories on this little flip flap was kind of fun. Now, this needs to dry. So while it dries, it only takes a moment. I'm just grabbing this little junk mail thing that I used to put glue on, and I'm just going to give it a quick fan, because Posca, it dries fast. Pretty remarkable. Okay. Now, all right, the purse. Really kind of a tote, huh? I think it was a purse to begin with. I think with me making it one handle instead of those fine little handles and all that other stuff is what makes it look more like a tote to me. Okay, well, what do you think? Do you like it? I really do. I think it's great. And here we go. Yay! Oh, I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. Let me show you one more time. There. Yay! Alrighty then. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video enough that you're gonna give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. I just went over 1,000 and I'm looking for 1,500 just for fun. The 1,000 was where I was really wanting to be. In the meantime, right in this corner, a video's gonna pop up that was picked out just for you, and I look forward to seeing you over there.